Hey, what's happening, y'all? Tim Loy here with my man Jeff Hobbs, and it is another 0 Hour Fighter Focus edition as we are rolling up on Aries 8. It all goes down next Friday night for the world famous Cotton Eye Joe, Knoxville, Tennessee. Jeff, today we get to talk to my man Corey the Joker Hynson. I'm excited to talk to him. We saw him do some tag team grappling in Chattanooga about a month back, but now he's going to put the little gloves on and do a real live fight.
The Joker, the Smoker, the Midnight Toker. Corey Hynson's here with us. That's it, man. Yeah, I'm excited, man. He dipped his toe in the combat world with some combat BJJ. It's not his fault. He picked a shitty partner. I give him a pass because he doesn't know enough. He should have came to Hydra Cup with us. What was it, Tim? Hydra Cup 1? He would have seen what he was getting himself into. Seen the error of his ways. We love Justin to death, man.
Hey, man, it was a good time, though.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Win or lose, man. There was no doubting that you enjoyed the process and the event.
Oh, for sure.
So before we get into this talk with Corey, do us a favor out there in internet land, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. You'll get notifications when we post new content. All the fights from Aries 6 going up around here daily. Those are all worth a watch. I would definitely suggest you subscribe, and that will help us out. Follow us on Facebook at Aries Fights, Instagram Aries Fight Series, and I think that will cover all the housekeeping here. Let's get into it, Corey. MMA debut coming up here. We're about a week out. That is next Friday here in Knoxville. He'll be taking on Corey Brewster out of the Ring Combat Sports Camp, who brings us their prodigal son, Robbie Ring, comes out here and shows out. So this will be the first time we've had some of their amateur fighters make their way down here. Don't really know what to expect out of this one. So let's get into it, man. So this will be your first fight. Let's give people a little backstory on how you got to this point, how you got into wanting to test your mettle in the octagon, in the cage, and any kind of background you've got as far as martial arts, combat sports, athletics, what have you.
Yeah, so I didn't really start this journey on purpose. My son started doing jiu-jitsu. And he was coached by a lot of good coaches, AJ Cisco being one of them, who's a Bellator vet. And I saw him in the gym, and this time last year, about a year and a half ago, I was 240 pounds, fat, out of shape. And I was like, maybe this is how I get in shape. I had no intentions on competing or anything, but the more I was in the gym, I was in the gym 6-7 times a week, rolling, striking, doing all that. And I was like, I'm really starting to enjoy this. Why not compete? So I did a couple of jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff like that. And then I was like, I want to throw hands too. So why not step in there and bang,
Yeah.
So we did the grappling match in April. I was like, let me get my toes wet and get in the cage, feel it out, and then go from there. But now like I said, I was 240 pounds a year and a half ago. I'll be fighting at 155 here in the cage with you guys June 3rd. So it's been a big accomplishment for me. I've already won. So going in here and throwing hands is just a bonus for me. And getting my hand raised will just be, it'll be wonderful, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely impressive, that amount of weight loss, man. That is super, super awesome. I remember whenever we met in Chattanooga, you told me about that weight loss, and you look put together out there. You definitely have gotten yourself in great shape, and you would think that carrying that amount of weight over the years would certainly kind of increase, just your overall strength. I would think just carry, your frame being used to carrying an extra nearly 100 pounds would certainly, one would theorize, make you a lot stronger out there.
Sure. Yeah, it definitely helps me out. Because, like you said, I've been used to carrying 240 around for a long time. So carrying 155 is no problem.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah,
man, some of the guys that have been getting you ready for this. I know you've been at is Honest Grappling. Is that the name of the gym out there near Charlotte?
Yeah. So I guess you could consider me an independent, but I'm a unique one because several times a week I'm with AJ Cisco. Him and I are doing a lot of striking, and he's a pro, and he's high caliber pro. And essentially, him and I are doing private lessons. So I'm training with AJ. I'm training with Justin Watson, who's a really talented striker too. And then I'm also in Honest Grappling. Mike Powell is the owner of that gym over there, who's also a pro. So, and even on rolling days, there's purple belts, brown belts, and black belts. So all the work I'm getting is tough work. So I'm not your typical, I guess I don't fly anybody's flag per se, but I'm getting the best possible training that you could ask for. So I'm ready for this fight. I'm just ready to go in there and show everybody what we've been working on for the last year and a half.
Jeff, when we talk about this from time to time, there are some not all independents are created equal. The typical stigma that goes along with an independent is going to be that that person is not quite well prepared as much as you would expect from someone that is quote unquote flying the flag for a team. But as Corey says here, sometimes you kind of just get in the best of all worlds. It can be a bit deceiving.
Yeah, I mean, you've got two levels of independent. You got your independent that wants to be independent, like you said, your garage guy, your weekend in the park guy, and then you've got your independent that just isn't ready to marry someone yet. They're like they're okay with dating for a while, but being able to, without the politics that are out there, and trust us, there are politics out there. If you're not married to one gym, then you get to avoid those politics by going and visiting any gym. So there's definitely two levels. We joke around all the time about my feelings about independence, but there is a different caliber of independent too who does it by choice. Like you said, without having to worry about drama, being able to stop by Gym A for one thing and be able to go to Gym B for another thing. But man, Corey, I've been there. 240, I know that number because that's what I walk around at every day. I'm very familiar with that number. But Jesus Christ, man, I tell you what, about 7 years ago, I woke up one morning and decided I was done walking around at 240 also. And the lowest I got was 190. I cannot imagine dropping another 35 after that. So that is absolutely amazing. I know just a little bit of the taste of probably what you're feeling because just even for me, dropping that 50 was life changing at the time. The only problem was you had the dedication to keep it off, and I celebrated my weight loss by by partying and eating.
See, that's the thing for me. It's fighting and doing more in the fight world is what's keeping it for me, because I've got something like, okay, when I do grappling tournaments, I always try to go to like the next weight class down, even if it's not extreme. And like,
Sure.
You know what? I thought about fighting at 170. I was like, no, I'll do 155. And I know I'm probably like, pro is probably not in the cards for me. It's not something that's a goal for me. I have a full-time career. I'm a full-time dad too. But if anybody can be inspired by my journey to do this, then that's a win. You know what I mean?
My problem, I just woke up one day and really did realize, and I can't remember what fight it was I was watching, but it was a heavyweight fight. And I was just like, I'm 5'9". I'm sitting on my couch. And if I decided to fight, that's my weight class. Like, that's my fucking weight class right there. And it just hit me. I was like, this isn't right, man. But
I've had those thoughts before too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you told us how you got here, but still, Corey, there's got to be a why. I understand the weight loss journey of it, and that it tickled your fancy. That, well, how about I try this, and how about I try this, man? But there's got to be something deeper. There's got to be a why to it. I know you said you're a father. Is there some part of this that wanting to show, your kid, um, you know that the weight loss, the overcome the bucket list thing of it, the putting your mind to something, is that really still kind of the deeper thing going on here?
Oh, of course. I mean, I always preach to my kids, and this may sound cliche, but whatever,
They're cliche for a reason, though. They're only cliche because they're true.
Yeah, and it's like this. It's simple, man. I told myself I want to do this, and I can do this, and I will do this, and nothing's gonna stop me from doing it. There's no in my heart. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna come there in June. I'm gonna have the result I want to have. And going down, I mean, my son's gonna see that. My son's gonna be watching on TV. So he's gonna see that, like, man, he did this thing. He said he was gonna do it. He sees the work. I mean, my son spends hours in the gym with me, watching. He sees the work go in. He sees what's involved in the process and getting ready for a fight, and he wants to fight too. So it's kind of just lead by example. I like to, actions speak louder than words.
Well,
so what better way to show my kids and maybe inspire somebody else too?
Sure.
Putting your mind to something, actually going and doing it instead of just talking about it.
You've made that first step and you're here now. The next question is this a novelty for you? Is this a bucket list kind of thing? Or is there more of a future you kind of see yourself at this? Do you see kind of maybe like a long-term goal here? Are there things in the sport that you would like to accomplish besides just saying that you've done it?
Yeah, I think so. It's weird because initially it was like, oh, I just want to do it. But now that I'm here, it's like I put all this work in. I want to win. Like, how far can I take this? And sitting at 240 or whatever, you're like, I don't know, man. But now being where I'm in great shape now. I'm ready to fight. So who knows? I'm ready for it. I'm excited, man. I can't say exactly where I'll end up. But I want to win, go in here and win and be successful. So wherever that road's gonna take me, I'm ready for it.
So you figure, you got a guy that another debut opponent. So it's one of those things where it's a complete mystery on either side. You can kind of maybe look at his team and see what they do well, but same time, the rings are kind of that they are a bit of an enigma because you really, Robbie is shown to be fairly well rounded, but we just haven't seen a lot of the amateurs down this way. We don't know if it's one of those situations where Robbie's just a prodigy and or is he a product of the coaching there? It's hard to say. If you feel like when you're fighting a guy that you literally have nothing on, that it's a bit easier because there's not so much to overload your mind as far as coming with a set game plan or something along those lines, or do you think that it's harder because you want to be able to see some footage of the guy and know what you're preparing for?
In my opinion, man, it makes it easier because you're not so focused on what they did at their last fight. Because who knows what happens in the 2-3 months in between fights. They could be a completely different fighter than the last film you have. But AJ's my head coach right now. We've prepared to where I'm working so hard, I know he's not outworking me. And we're training hard. So my philosophy is right now there's two outcomes to this fight. I win the fight or I lose it.
So, obviously assuming the best, how quick a turnaround are you looking to make if this goes successfully for you? Is this something you want to get another one in for the end of the year, or you want to kind of slow roll it, get more training in, and kind of level up between each fight? I can kind of see both ways. You're a little bit older for a debut, so the time is not necessarily on your side as much as far as staying active. But at the same time, obviously, I'm sure you want to see some progression from fight to fight as well.
Yeah, I guess it just kind of, I'm fully confident in how June 3rd will go, but I guess it just kind of depends on where I'm at and what AJ thinks at the time. But I'm ready to bang, man. So barring any like unforeseen injury or something like that, I'm ready to go.
Last thing here, let's talk a little bit about your support system, man. It's been impressive. You've you did the grappling thing in Chattanooga. You've got this one coming up next week. And even though you're, 4 hours plus from these venues, you're still having a fair amount of fan support. People that are buying tickets, donating them to local people that maybe aren't advantaged enough to be able to go on their own. Super cool thing to do. We hooked up some people in Chattanooga from kids from a group home with sales that your fans donated. We'll talk a little bit about that, man. That's something that that's the kind of support system that doesn't come easy. I'd say I know lots of guys that would kill to have that kind of support behind them.
Yeah. Thanks, man. It was one of those things. I'm very active on my social media and stuff. And I started posting about Chattanooga, and people want to show their support, but I'm not necessarily going to travel 5 hours to watch a grappling match. And I get it.
Of course.
So I was on the way to the gym one day and I was like, well, how can I help people support that want to, but can't make it? So I was like, you know what, maybe they'll buy tickets and we can donate it to local kids or something.
Yeah.
And it really took off. It was like, I think we got 10 last time.
Mm-hmm.
Selling 10 tickets for people that aren't going to the fight was a big thing for me. And I've always been of the belief that if you treat people well and you're a good human being, at some point that'll be reciprocated back on you. And it has been. And I'm very blessed, man. I've got a lot of people that have jumped on and sponsored me for this upcoming match. People have really welcomed my whole journey in with open arms and been super supportive. I'm really blessed for that, man.
Well, I think I can speak for Jeff when I say that, I wish more people thought like that. That's definitely, there'll be guys that we get all the time that are coming in from, a little bit further out, but, they more or less throw in the towel and it's just like, I'm too far away. I'm not going to have any support here for this. The fact that you stepped outside the box here and it kind of went with this angle is admirable, to say the least, and definitely something that is appreciated on many levels, man. So props to you for that.
I appreciate that a lot.
The fact of the matter is, Corey, is you may have 0 people in the crowd, but you will have sold more tickets than a few of the fighters on the card.
Oh, yeah. They're local.
Yes.
Hey, before we let you go, man, I want to let you give some shout outs where they're due. I know you mentioned that you got some sponsors there and any friends, family, training partner, loved ones that you want to give some credit to. I'll let you do that.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully I don't miss anybody, but my primary sponsor is Old Armor Beer Company here in Kannapolis, North Carolina. I'm also sponsored by RB Electric, Ezekiel Defense Shooting, Torches Print Shop. They did all my t-shirts. If anybody wants one of these Joker t-shirts, they can just hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, anything like that. Troll Contracting. And then, of course, my coach is AJ Cisco. He's a savage, and he's pretty much brought me up from the very beginning. So I'm very grateful for him. Justin Watson has been getting a lot of sparring rounds in with me. Mike Powell over at Honest Grappling and all those guys over there. Very thankful for everybody. And then again, everybody that bought tickets for this fight. We had another double-digit ticket sales for this fight for people that aren't even going. So that kind of support to support the kids there in Knoxville is awesome. And what we've always said is if one of those kids that comes decides to do MMA or do something different with their life, it was a win.
Oh, yeah. 100%, man. But yeah, definitely one of the good guys here, folks. Corey the Joker Hynson. You can catch him in his MMA debut about a week from now, next Friday, June the 3rd, from world famous Cotton Eye Joe, Knoxville, Tennessee. Get your tickets at fightertix.com. Select Corey and give him the credit there if you're going to support him. Then, of course, you can watch it live on pay-per-view at combatcast.tv. So those are the ways you can catch it next week. Corey's MMA debut, taking on Corey Brewster from Ring Combat. It's going to be a happening for sure. Corey, man, we appreciate the time. And I know this is probably your last hard week as far as training goes. Next week's all weight cut and the like. That's when the real fun starts. We look forward to seeing you next week, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Always a pleasure to talk to you and look forward to seeing you next week.
Sir, see you, Corey.
See you guys.